Welcome to Puppets. What we will need is a sock. We will need a mouth, and notice the thumb hole and where we put our ring finger and middle finger on top. Very good. We will need some googly eyes. We will also need a fluffy nose. There we go. And we will need some yarn for either hair or for a beard. Let's start with the body and the mouth. So what we're going to do first is turn the sock inside out. And we're going to find that little seam that goes right on top of your toes. Let's find that. And we got same side as the heel. Look at that. There's the seam. And we're going to use that when we cut the mouth. So we have a pattern. And notice there's two arrows on there, and those are very important. So we're going to tuck that right underneath the seam. And take a marker and run it where we're going to cut it. So right under the seam, because that's going to make our top lip. And on the other side. And we're going to make little marks where we want to stop cutting, because we don't want the mouth, the sock, bigger than the red mouth. Notice arrow and arrow. Very easy. So we're going to get some sharp scissors and carefully start where we made a little mark. And they're a little fuzzy, so this might be hard. And we're going to go right under the seam on top. All the way down to where we made a mark. Alright, here. Very good. And we're going to turn it back right side out. See? It's starting to look like a puppet. And what we're going to do is put it over a mason jar. This is important because we need something to push against. And also, we don't want to accidentally glue through several layers. So there's the top lip right there. Good start. And make sure top of your mouth goes underneath the top lip. And we're just going to roughly put it in there. Very good. And we're going to get our hot glue gun. So we're going to start by just putting an inch of glue on the top, kind of where your front teeth would be, about a quarter of an inch in. And press down. And hot glue doesn't set at once, so we do need to keep it pressed. That's good. And a little bit more glue. Hold it down. And we're going to do a little bit more. Press it down. Very good. And on the other side. And it's easiest to do the top first. There we go. Hold it. Let it set up. And then let's flip it over, and we're going to do the bottom jaw. Pull the mason jar out just a little bit so not in the way. And we're going to start the bottom. Same thing. We're going to start in the center, and we're going to go out. So there we go. Whoops. Press it down. Then over on the side, you're going to pull the sock over. So it's going to be about half an inch over. Hold it. The glue will set up. And again, a little adjustment. See, that's where we don't want to cut it too big. Glue. And hold it. Very good. Ooh, just little stringies. I'll get them off later. And there you go. There's your mouth. Next, well, that is setting up. The support and glue sets up. We're going to do the hair or the beard. This is easy. So this is the string that's going to tie it. So watch this. We do a little tape on each side. Just to hold it. That's our little helper right there. And then we're going to put the yarn down, hold it with your thumb, and then go round, 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 round. We don't need a whole lot of yarn here. We don't need big poofy yarns because then we're not going to be able to look at it like hair or beard, but just a little bit. And we can cut it after it's on the puppet, so we can't do it all the same length to start with. All right, so see, we got the string to tie with. Take the tape off. And, oh, that's not the right one. We need the string that we had taped on there. There we go. Let's tie it. Once, twice, and that should hold it. Now, where you see where you tied it, on the opposite end, we're going to cut it. Cut, cut, cut. There we go. Hey, check that out. We got some hair. Let's put that to the side, and we're going to get back to the puppet. What do you think about that? So this is where we hold our thumb and our middle and our ring finger inside elastics, and that's going to give us where we can have him talk. Let's put him back over the mason jar. There we go. This is important because if we put the hot glue on the sock and press down, it's going to go through both layers of the sock and we're just going to have glued it all together. So we do need something to press against. And also, it keeps its shape better. So let's start with a nose. We need a big glob of hot glue. And then just press the nose in. So we're going to put the nose right above the top lip. Hold it. Fluff him back up a little bit because we're pressing down. And next is going to be the eyes. Big googly eyes. So we're going to have them right above the nose, and we're going to have them pretty much touching each other because we don't want them on the side of the head. So glue, 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 glue. And notice the jar is underneath. So we're going to press it, and we have something to press against. Very good. And the other side, so we put them fairly close together. There we go. And let's press it in. It takes a second for hot glue to set up. That's why we kind of want to give it a little bit of time afterwards. Well, that looks good. Now we're going to add some hair. And what we're going to aim for is to glue down the knot that we tied together. So big glob of glue right above the eyes. Give them a little bit of space for a forehead. Otherwise, we're just making eyebrows. And press it in.
Bathroom mat friend there.
That's nice.
Very good. That looks really good. Now, you can also put a beard by gluing the same thing on the bottom jaw.
Yeah.
And that will be
The
kind of
oh,
cool
yeah,
if you have
Muscle
making a
Press
man.
is on
All right. So let's just fluff that up. That looks good. It's starting to look like somebody. Ha! And it does look like somebody. You shake those eyes out. But you see how you have to have the eyes fairly close together? Give him some forehead space. All right, here's what's next. We're going to make a tunic. And that is a 4-fold pattern. I made you a 2-fold also. So we're going to fold it once. We're going to fold it twice. Oh, there we go. So it's 4 layers of fabric. 1, 2, 3, and then 4 on the bottom. So we have 2 folds, 4 layers. You're going to have a pattern. We have this one, or we have one where we just fold it 2 layers of fabric. So we have, see, that's the corner right there where the neck goes. We're going to match the pattern up. to the two folds, the top and the bottom, and we're going to trace it. So that's the neck, and then we're going to go around the sleeve, and then we're going to go around the side. And I'm making this a little bit longer because I hadn't really figured out the pattern yet, but we go across the bottom, and we're going to cut it out. And we're going to leave it laying on the table. Don't pick it up, because that way everything stays together. So you need sharp scissors for this. So just cut around.
It's easier
And
for me
yes,
to make a video.
it's going to be,
Or to edit it.
It's recording our voice too.
Yeah, I know, but I'm going to record over it.
which obviously did
Well,
not
the boy's
work.
going to show me how to do this.
That's my husband talking. So we're going to cut the sleeve all the way, and then we can't forget to cut the neck right there. And that, make sure you cut the neck exactly like the pattern is, because that's the width of the sock. There we go. There is your tunic. So we're going to lay it down, keep it folded out, and we are going to sew. And we're going to use a sharp needle and some thread. You want to use 1 arm length of thread. So we're going to start at the bottom. Let's do 1 stitch, just like that. And we're going to do a double knot. And when we do thread, when you cut the little tail off, we're going to do it twice. 2. When we cut the tail off, we're going to leave a little bit. We don't want to cut it all the way off. So that's why I'm leaving the tail right now. So yes, a little stitch. About 1/4 of an inch away from the side. And we're going to go all the way up. And don't pull the thread too tight, because we don't want to cinch it. We just want to keep it flat. That's why we're keeping it flat on the table right now. That's looking good, and we're going to go all the way up to where the wrist is. But you want to keep it, close enough to the edge, but not so close that it won't catch. All right. And I think learning to sew is really important. And also, we could glue this, but it's going to require drying overnight. All right, so we are at the sleeve. And make sure your fabrics kind of meet up. That's very good. So little stitches will go a long way. So make it all the way up to the wrist. I think our puppet is watching us and he approves. All right, almost there. So it might take a little bit longer, but you can use it right away. That's what makes it so much better than glue. And to end it, we're just going to do maybe 3-4 stitches all in the same place. See, it kind of gets bunched up. And we're going to cut it. We're going to leave a little tail so it does not unravel. See, look at that. Now we can do whatever we want with it. So having done both sides, check that out. We have a tunic. And we're going to turn it right side out. Just carefully, we're going to turn the sleeves. Kind of like you do it with your socks when you're doing laundry. All right, let's catch that little wrist part and let's pull it through. It just takes a little finagling. All right, maybe. Oh, I got it. All right, second sleeve. Maybe a little bit easier. Maybe, let's see. we go. Maybe, maybe, maybe. Yes. Look at that. Looks good. That's why we do all this sewing. All right, what do you think? We have a tunic. And this will add arms to our puppet. Check that out. All right, so let's put that to the side. What we're going to do next is the vest. Here, let me show you the pattern. See, it's a little bit shorter than the tunic. And what I have is, I'm going to give you a pattern that's twice as big. So, that's the outside of fabric. We fold it once, and then we fold it again. What I'm going to have you do is just fold it once. And after I cut this out, I'm going to show you what your pattern looks like. There you go. So we have the front and the back all in one. So you're going to either do small stitches, or we can even glue. Check this out. Well, if I can find my marker. There it is. So we're going to trace it. There we go, neckline at the bottom. So we're going to make it a little shorter. Take it off. Keep the fabric down. Put your hand on there so it doesn't slide around. And we're going to cut. That's the shoulder. There's the neckline. And across. And we don't want to cut the back, so we're just going to cut where the front is. All right, and we're going to cut the bottom. Oh, nope, forgot. We're going to cut the armhole first. All right. And the bottom. There we go. Very nice. And while working, keep your workspace clean. See right there, that is what your pattern looks like. And we cut it on one fold and check that out. So that's the inside of it. That's the outside. What we're going to do is fold over the front. There we go. So we have an inside out vest. And here I'm cheating a little bit. We're going to do some glue, but I do recommend sewing this also. But I just kind of want to show you two options on how to put all this stuff together. So press down. It's hot glue. Oh, not that hot, but you can still burn yourself. So there we go. Let's tap it in. I'm telling you, stitching would be so much easier. And then the other side, but see, there is two little short parts. Press, press, press. There we go. Check that out. All right, we have our vest. We can let it set up. And let's turn it right side out. All right, check that out. And we got shoulders holding together, so let's put the vest around the tunic. And let's see, put arm through. And the other arm through. There we go. And notice the neck, well, you can't see it. The neck matches up. So that's very important. There we go. How about that? And we're going to try out the sock. All right, look at that. So what we're going to do is put the sock, we're going to pull it through the neck. And now through bottom. So here's where your arm's going to go up. There we go. All right, and he's going to be kind of flat in there. So we're going to do about 2 inches in between here. That's very important, because otherwise he won't bend right after you put the arm in. And we're going to have to make sure he keeps his tunic up so his neck doesn't get too long. So we're going to put in 2 stitches. So through the sock, through the tunic, and through the vest. There we go. And we're going to hang on to that little tail because we're going to have to tie it. So we're going to do 1, 2. And that's just enough to hold them. And then we're going to do a double knot. All right, so 1, 2. Let's cut it off. There, see the little tails? That way it doesn't come unravel, and we do exactly the same thing on the other side. So we're gonna do through tunic and the vest, 1. Oh, hang on to the tail. 2. There we go. 3. And we're going to tie it once, then again, twice, and then we're going to cut, leaving a little tail. Okay. All right. And the last, this is optional if you want his arms to go, and we don't have to. And I completely forgot, but I would highly recommend putting some pom-poms matching the sock on here too. So let's put some glue on the edge of the sleeve. We got a shish kebab stick. I cut the point off, so press it in there. And here's where I would put the pom-pom right over, a nice blue one. Let that set up. We're going to do the other side. Pull the sleeve out. Let's see. Let's get some glue on there. All right. And the stick. Now I'm telling you, a pom-pom wouldn't have been nice. I just didn't think about it. How about that right there? All right. So here is the finished product. He got some arms. He got some personality. He could have had some hands and a beard. And you can use whatever clothes you want. We have all kinds of fabrics. So you kind of just got to think about who your character is and maybe dress them appropriately. It might be really fancy fabric. It might be burlap. And I think it'd be a lot of fun. So we can do whatever we want with these. Just make sure to have fun.